Tennis IQ is the thing that separates two players with identical technique and decides which one wins. And it's not about knowing more than your opponent. It's about thinking one step ahead of them, about making decisions before the point starts that put your opponent in positions they can't handle. The 5 strategies in this video are things that smart players use every single match, at every level, from club tennis to the ATP. And the beautiful part is none of them require you to hit better. They require you to think better, which means you can start using all 5 of them in your very next match, today, without changing a single thing about your technique. Here's how to outsmart everyone. 1. Make your opponent play their weakest shot, high tennis. IQ isn't flashy. It doesn't look like anything on the outside. But this first strategy, when you do it consistently, produces results that feel almost unfair. Every player has a weaker side. Almost always the backhand, but not always. Some players have a weaker forehand, some fall apart on high balls, some can't handle the body serve. Your job is to find it in the first few games and then use it deliberately on the points that matter most. Here's the key distinction that separates tactical thinking from just hitting to the backhand. Anyone can push balls to the backhand because it's a general habit. That's not tennis IQ. Tennis IQ is deciding before a big point starts that this point is going to end with your opponent hitting their backhand under pressure, and then constructing the rally specifically to make that happen, not reacting your way into it, but engineering it from the first ball. On a 30-40, you're not just playing the point. You're asking yourself, how do I get this person hitting a backhand on the 5th or 6th ball when they're slightly off balance? Maybe you start the rally cross-court to their forehand to bring them toward that side, then go wide to the backhand on ball 3 to pull them the other way, then attack the open court with pace so their only option is a stretched backhand under time pressure. That's a plan, not a hope. The difference between a player who gets lucky when their opponent misses and a player with high IQ is that the high IQ player saw the miss coming 2 shots ago and walked them into it. Start doing that. On every big point before you serve or return, ask yourself, where do I want this point to end? Then build the rally to get there. 2. Change the pace before your opponent gets comfortable. This one is about timing, and the timing is everything. Every player's brain is constantly calibrating during a rally. After 2 or 3 balls at the same speed and height and spin, your opponent's nervous system is adjusting. Their feet start moving at the right time. Their swing starts syncing up. The ball that felt awkward on the first one starts feeling manageable on the 4th. And if you keep giving them the same thing, by ball 6 they're comfortable and starting to dictate. The moment you notice your opponent moving well, the moment things start feeling like they're in a rhythm, that's not bad luck. That's your signal. Change something, not everything. One thing. Throw in a slice after 3 heavy topspin balls. Drop the pace suddenly after 2 fast exchanges. Hit a high looping ball after 2 flat drives. Something that makes their brain start the calibration process over from 0. What this exploits is a real lag in how the brain processes change. The nervous system doesn't update instantly. When you change the pace or height or spin of the ball, your opponent's body is still calibrated to the previous version for the next 2 or 3 shots. That gap, those 2 or 3 recalibrating shots, is when errors happen, not because they're a bad player, because their timing is slightly off through no fault of their own. The best tactical players do this constantly without any specific plan. They just feel when their opponent is settling in and they hit a different ball. Train yourself to notice when your opponent is timing you well. That noticing is the skill. The change itself is easy. The awareness of when to make it is what separates average tactical thinking from genuine tennis IQ. And if you want to take your tennis to the next level, check out the Tennis Master Pack. A pack that includes the Elite Player Guide with technical and tactical tips. The Become a Pro Guide, where you'll learn how to become a pro tennis player. A full week fitness routine to take your fitness to the next level, and a prevention routine to prevent injuries and enhance recovery. This pack already helped hundreds of tennis players. Get your clicking on the link in the description. Let's continue with the video. 3. Use the last shot of the rally as a weapon. This is the most advanced idea in this video, and it's also the most powerful once it becomes natural. Most players think point by point. The rally ends, the point ends, that chapter closes and the next one starts fresh. Smart players don't think that way. For them, the ball they just hit to close a rally is already the setup for what they're going to do on the next point, because where that ball lands tells them exactly where their opponent is going to be standing when the next point starts, and they've already decided what they're going to do with that information. Here's a simple version. You win a point by pushing your opponent wide to their backhand corner. They're standing behind the baseline on the left side of the court to pick up the ball and come back to position. You just decided your next serve is going wide to their forehand on the deuce side, the exact opposite side of the court from where they're coming from. Not because that's always the right serve, because you saw where they were going to be and chose a serve that exploits that position before they've even finished recovering. This kind of thinking is available on every point if you train yourself to watch where your opponent ends up when the previous point ends. It takes about 2 seconds of observation before each point. And over the course of a match, the accumulated advantage of starting points from a position where you already know something about where your opponent is and what they expect adds up to games, sometimes sets. Start small. On 1 and 3 points, look at where your opponent is standing before you serve. Just notice it. Then gradually start choosing your serve based on what you see. The thinking gets faster the more you do it. 4. Attack the player, not just the court. Most players learn tactics as hitting the corners and opening up the court. Hit wide, bring them off the court, attack the open space. That's the basic version, and it works at a certain level. But there's a more advanced version that removes options completely rather than just creating space. And it's hitting directly at the player. When your opponent is at the net, a ball right at their body, hip height, directly at them, is one of the most awkward shots they can face. They can't hit it forehand without swinging across their body. They can't hit it backhand without jamming their elbow. They have to make a last-second decision under time pressure about which side to use, and whatever they choose, they're executing it from a cramped position. The quality of the reply is almost always low. When your opponent is running wide, a ball hit into their running hip, not behind them, not ahead of them, directly into their moving body, jams the swing in a way that a ball to open space doesn't. Open space gives them room to set up. Their body gives them nothing to work with. This isn't about being unkind. It's about understanding that the geometry of the shot matters less than the geometry of the opponent's body. A corner is only hard to reach. The body is hard to execute from. Those are very different problems for your opponent, and the second one is harder to solve. In this video, I show you how to make tennis easy, because in reality it is. I recommend you watch it after this one. 5. Make them win, don't just lose. This is the strategy that contains all the others, and it's the one that changes the entire philosophy of how you compete. The vast majority of tennis points at every level are decided by errors. One player misses. That's how the point ends. Not because the other player did something brilliant, because someone made a mistake, and the player with higher IQ has understood something that most players spend years missing. Their opponent is going to beat themselves if you stop helping them. Every free point you give away, every double fault, every routine ball into the net, every impatient forehand winner attempt from behind the baseline is a point your opponent collected without having to do anything. You handed it over, and if you're doing that 10 times per set, that's almost a set you've donated before the competitive tennis even begins. The highest tennis IQ move available to most recreational players is not some clever tactical pattern. It's raising the level at which they give points away. Stop serving double faults on big points. Stop going for the line on a ball you haven't earned. Stop missing the third ball of the rally when you're not even in a bad position. Force your opponent to actually construct points, build pressure, and earn what they get. This sounds passive. It isn't. It's actually the most aggressive form of competition available. Making someone repeatedly solve a problem they expected to be handed over and over for 3 sets until their patience and their confidence and their fitness are all being tested in ways they didn't plan for. That is tennis IQ at its highest. Make them earn it. 5 IQ strategies. Engineer your opponent into their weakest shot on big points. Change the pace the moment they'd get comfortable. Use the end of each point to set up the beginning of the next one. Attack the body, not just the court. And stop giving free points away. Make them win every single one. None of this requires better technique. All of it requires better thinking. And thinking is available to you right now, today, on any court, against any player. Pick one of these 5 and take it into your next match as your one focus. That's enough. Drop a comment telling me which one you're going to use first. I want to know. Subscribe for more of this. Blue Tennis Dude. See you in the next one.